A couple of soft-body, hard-brained milk drinkers decided to chirp you the other day.
Tired soft boys. You looking for a Tilly, buddy? Let's have a Donnybrook!
But you're not subscribed to Combat Consulting, you don't know how to pivot, and you ended up looking like this. The game is always the game. Hit and don't get hit. One of the ways you can create both these outcomes at the same time is with pivots. This video is going to break it down. When you're in the ideal foot position, an imaginary center line, LOA or line of attack, should bisect your body, kissing the inside of your front foot and the heel of your rear foot. This foot position creates the ideal mix of balance, power, and maneuverability. Salty keyboard warrior should read this. It's just an analogy. When you're head-on against an opponent, your LOAs pose a mutual threat. Slipping is one way to remove your head from the LOA while still posing a threat. I've already made a video on that. You can move laterally to remove yourself from your opponent's center line, but that also misaligns yours. You don't get hit, but your opponent doesn't either. You need to rotate your LOA to strike while avoiding your opponent's LOA. This is where pivoting comes in. Against same-handed, generally moving towards your lead side is more dangerous, while moving towards your rear side is safer. Against opposite-handed opponents, the inverse is generally true. Salty keyboard warrior should read this. It's just an analogy. In both directions, taking a wider angle reduces conflict potential. The ideal angle for your LOA is a right angle, like a T. I call this angle teed up like a T-bone crash or a delicious T-bone steak, though it's also a phrasal verb. This series is going to cover variations on lead pivots and rear pivots for same-handed and opposite-handed fights. Subscribe now so you don't miss one. Also got a whole bunch of other videos coming out in addition to this pivot series. Take a look here and make sure you subscribe so you get to catch all of them. A mistake people make with pivots is high lifting or high stepping their rear foot. Instead, rotate at the hips, push off your rear foot, use your lead leg as a counterweight, and land in your stance with the same foot position you started in. Make sure your LOA is aligned with your target. You can practice this in shadow boxing with reference points, like these cross lines on the ground. I usually like to keep my guard up when I'm lead pivoting unless I'm throwing a 3 or something else while I'm doing it. I often add a step back or continue to circle out to my lead side after I pivot. Make sure you keep your chin tucked behind that lead shoulder and to follow the pivot up with something. Thanks for watching, guys. I had to get through this more boring video about mechanics and background and terms before I could get to the more exciting stuff. That's the actual breakdown of specific clips from real fights. Make sure you subscribe. Part 2 is already out now and linked on screen, and see you guys soon. Stay up, always.